Beer Basics tastes Airborne Belgian Brown Ale. Recently, the folks at Belgian Style Ales sent me a sample of their latest brew, Airborne Belgian Brown Ale. Before we get to tasting this brew, let's check the production information. This one is obvious, 16 October 2017. The label tells us the bottle contains unfiltered crafted Belgian ale containing barley malt. At 7.5% alcohol by volume in an 11-ounce old-fashioned bottle. Brewed at the Brasserie De Bouillon in Bouillon, Belgium. For the folks at Pinte Imports of Folsom, California. Distributed by the folks at Belgian Style Ales. Remember, those are the folks that sent me the bottles of Airborne. Now let's get to tasting the beer. There's a good thick head on this beer, that's for sure. Also, it is a very ruby red color. The aroma. There is a slightly malty, roasted grain aroma, very little floral or hop aroma. The first sip reveals a refreshing, grainy, slightly sweet, but finished with a bit of a sharp tang to the finish. Second sip reveals that there is a bit more of a floral type of grassy, yet more of a citric lemon type of a flavor tang. And the final swallow is refreshing, certainly not overpowering, either alcoholically or as far as any type of sharp flavor profile that would accentuate either the sweet or the bitter in this beer. It's certainly a very nicely balanced beer and very refreshing. Does it meet expectations? Even with a little help, that's a beautiful pour. Meeting expectations. The folks sent me Airborne Belgian Brown Ale. And there's quite a story behind it, which you can read in the information section box just below this video. It certainly is inspirational and showing how GIs under conditions will always find a beer for their buddies. The story behind the beer is important. But the beer itself is what we're here to take a look at and to taste. Now, the label tells me that this is a Belgian brown ale and that it is 7.5% alcohol by volume. A Belgian brown ale I would expect to be fairly grainy, full-bodied, with a kind of a grassy, but more of a walking through the woods type of a bitterness that gets into the air. Again, that's a very subjective flavor profile, but that would be what I would expect of something like this, and certainly a relatively warm mouthfeel. Now that we've let the head fall down a little bit, it certainly looks like a Belgian brown ale. It's got a nice light tan, relatively closely knit head, showing that it's rich in malt. Certainly has a lot of malt to it, so I'm expecting a good solid mouthfeel. Let's take a well, there certainly is no problem with the nose aroma. It is very pleasant. Let's see. The second dive, and there's not much difference. First sip. Certainly a light ale. It has a little less body than I expected, but a nice smooth mouthfeel, that's for sure. And very light on the hops. This would, it's a little less hoppy than I expected it to be, a little less wild, if you might say. However, it's a most refreshing beer, and if you read the legend, you'll certainly understand how that one GI could help out his other GI buddies, his battle buddies, with finding as refreshing a beer as this. Does it meet expectations? Yes, it does. I'm Peter LaFrance for BeerBasics.com. I'm back to remind you that if you liked this video, please click on the thumbs up icon below. And while you're at it, subscribe, and you will learn the next video goes hot just as soon as it does. I appreciate each and every subscription. I'm Peter LaFrance.